Greetings and welcome, everyone. How is everyone doing? My name is Jessica Settler, and I'd like to welcome you to our financial literacy webinar this afternoon for some of you. Our firm is in alliance with the top 75% of Fortune 500 banks, financial institutions, and insurance companies. We have surpassed company giants that you may have heard of, such as Charles Schwab or Merrill Lynch. And I'm proud to announce that today we have been recognized in the top 1% and over 8,000 broker-dealers in the nation. You're about to witness the story of a well-established company worth over $543 billion in assets and revolutionize the entire financial services industry. With the philosophy of no family left behind, we are rewriting the record books, actually rewrote the record books on how financial products have just been distributed, not only in this country, but around the world. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce someone who is highly qualified to share that company story with you. I invite you to open your minds and your hearts and hear what he has to share with you today. He is a family man and a man of faith. He has more than 20 years experience in the financial services industry, 10 of which he spent at Wells Fargo as the fastest, youngest growing executive. With the burden and responsibility on his heart, he realized the bank was not serving the clients and the families that they served. He transitioned to here about 10 years ago, planted his flag because he was called to serve families alongside with his wife and is expanding across the nation right now. He has been serving individuals, families, business owners, and church communities on helping them understand the basics to money and how to grow in abundance. It is my personal, internally gratitude for this man and his wife for changing my family's future, not just for me and my children, but generations yet to come. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our personal mentor, our coach, and one of the best in the entire industry, Josh Polachek.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Can everybody just give me a thumbs up? Like if you can hear me and I'm coming across good, give me a thumbs up loud and clear. Thank you. Awesome. Great to see all of your beautiful and handsome faces on this wonderful Sunday, right? Thank you for being here and to talking about, financial education and financial literacy. Thank you, Jessica, for that wonderful introduction. And it's something I'm really passionate about, something that's been on my heart. I started my career, like Jessica was saying, with a company called Wells Fargo, and I started there at an entry-level position and started working my way up. At the height of my career, 10 years being there, I became one of the youngest, fastest growing executives with Wells Fargo, and I was making the bank hundreds of millions of dollars. But the higher I climbed up that corporate ladder, the less I started to believe in what I was doing. And when I saw how money really worked, I said to myself, wow, why don't we teach our communities? How come this isn't information that my family has ever heard of or has ever known? I was introduced to this company 10 years ago. And when somebody sat down with me and they shared with me the financial education that I had received in that 1 hour, I had received more information and education than I did in my entire 10-year career. So I made a decision to walk away, to step out and to serve this mission and this passion of no family left behind. And that's what we're here to share with you today. This company has really, really, really been a blessing to me. It's been a blessing to our family. I was able to meet my wife here. We've been able to do some of the things that we always dreamed of. This company has provided opportunity for us, and it's provided us the ability to give opportunity to others. It's given us the ability to help people and to transform their lives through financial knowledge and financial education. And there's a movement that's happening in our cities, in our communities, throughout our government, throughout our churches that we want you to know about and to be a part of here today. So I'm very excited to talk to you a little bit about who we are and how we help people. Our company has been around for over 120 years. So if we're looking here at this tall, pointy building that's located in downtown San Francisco. Some of you may recognize it by this tall, pointy building, which is the Trans-America building. So Trans-America in itself is a financial powerhouse. It's a very strong, very credible company, very deep roots that goes back all the way 120 years ago. We're owned by a company that's even bigger, which is called Aegon. Aegon has been around for over 200 years, and they have over $500 billion in assets. Just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective on Aegon, Aegon is so big that they've been named too big to fail. They also have been recognized as essential to the global economic stability. Our marketing division is headquartered here out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they take care of all of our marketing and compliance and payroll. And there's over 300 people that work at the home office in Atlanta, Georgia. Pinnacle Elite, we are the #1 fastest growing financial leadership and education company, financial literacy company in the entire United States, doing business all across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. All of the reason that all of these companies came together was to completely change and revolutionize the entire financial service industry. And that's something that we're proud to do. That's something that we're proud of, that we've been able to accomplish, and now bring this information to you. A little bit about what we do here with the Power of Strength. Most companies, most people don't know what they have. They don't know what it compares to, and they don't know how it works. So I want you to think about this. For something as important as making a financial decision, something that people are going to do over their entire lives, maybe a 10, 20, or 30-year period of time, would you want the best that one company has to offer, or would you want the best that an entire industry has to offer? And that's what really separates us, what really differentiates us from everybody else that's out there, is we have the power of choice. These are great companies, but on their own, they'll only offer you what they have. Companies that I'm sure you've heard of, like Nationwide, and I love Nationwide, they're a great company. Transamerica, Prudential, Fidelity, Allianz, Symetra, right? All of these are great companies, but they would only offer you the best that they have. Kind of like if you work at a job, whatever they have is what you get. And that was me at Wells Fargo. I enrolled in their 401k, their stock program, their profit sharing, their health benefits, all of these different things. But I had no idea, like, is this good? What does it compare to? And most people are in that situation. Can you imagine doing something for 20 or 30 years and looking back on it and being like, man, I wish I would have known what other options are available? So that's what I love about what we do, is because we give people that knowledge and understanding. But most importantly, we don't represent these companies. We represent the families. We represent the business owners. We represent the community and the people that we serve, and we have their best interests in mind. We're not salespeople. We are financial educators, and we provide financial literacy. So I love that about our company. I love that about our mission, because we make a difference in people's lives. On this next page that we're going to here, I love the fact that we have a mission as a company. Our mission as a company is no family left behind. And if you look at the left side here, the reality is this is where most families fall into in America. The statistics are, by age 65, listen to this, 95% of people are either dead or dead broke. Only 5% of Americans are considered to be wealthy Americans. Growing up, I always thought to myself, like, what is it that these wealthy families do? See, I don't come from a wealthy family. In fact, my father was a truck driver, and that's where I got my hard work and ethic from. He's one of the hardest working individuals that I know. But he spent his entire life working 18 to 20 hours a day for 37 years with this goal or dream of being able to retire. And in 2008, when the market crashed, when people lost their homes, when people lost their retirements, my family was a part of that. And it devastated my father's retirement. He lost half of everything. Imagine working 37 years and you lose half of everything in 1 year. My mother and him were at an age where they could not continue to work, so they were devastated. Not just our family, but many families fell into that category. My mom and dad's side of the family came here to America for the American dream. And they work hard. And we were told, go to school, get a good job, get a good degree, get with a company, be loyal to them, work for the next 20 or 30 years, and one day you'll be able to retire. And the reality is that's not taking place in our communities. That's not happening. In fact, it's more like the American nightmare. And it's more like people are just working paycheck to paycheck, but they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And they're thinking to themselves, why is it that I'm making more? Why is it that, all of these things are happening, but it never feels financially like we're getting ahead? And we continue to work harder and harder and make more, but we're barely making it here. And I realize that there's two different types of education in America. If you come from a very, very wealthy family, you receive an entirely different education than if you come from a hardworking middle-class family, just like my own. So if we could if we could bring that knowledge to the community, what difference does it make? To keep this very simple, what we do is we show the 95% of America what the top 5% of America knows about money, what they do with money, right? If we could teach our communities that, what type of impact or type of difference? Most people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. And I'm passionate about this because there's so many people in our Hispanic communities, in our Asian communities, our Caucasian communities, our African American communities, our Pacific Islander communities, and everywhere in between that are being left behind. See, these big banks, these big corporations, these companies are not going out into our communities and saying, hey, let me teach you what wealthy people know. Let me show you what we do with our money. Let me teach you how to create generational wealth. So you didn't come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family can come from you. And I say that has to change. We need to teach our children so they're not repeating the same mistakes that we made in our life. I look at this and I say to myself, man, what if my grandparents would have known a little bit about money? What if my grandparents would have understood how this worked? Maybe my parents wouldn't have had to struggle the same way that they did. Maybe that information could have been passed down to me, right? And then for me to my children. So for every generation going forward, because of this company and the knowledge that we've been able to receive and spread, that's the difference that we're making. That's the change that we're a part of. When we implement this in church, we just got done meeting with the mayor of Moreno Valley here in Southern California, the city, all of these different things that are happening. This can help our communities, and we can't depend on anybody else. We have to come together as people. Our country needs that in more ways than one, for us to come together as community and for us to come together as people and to fight for each other's families, to fight for financial education, financial literacy, so we can pass down generational debt. On this next slide here, I'm going to go over some important rules. Some of these rules here are so valuable that knowing them makes a huge difference in your life. We call them the 3 rules of money. The first rule is how your money grows. See, there's a lot of different rules. There's law, there's rules when you drive, there's rules to games, to sports, whatever it may be. But these 3 rules to money have a huge impact. The first one, Albert Einstein said, is one of the 8th wonders of the world, because whoever knows how compound interest and how money grows, the rule of 72, will make money. But those that don't know the rule end up paying the money. So let's take a look at how this works. Let's say you take your money and you put it inside of a bank. When you put it inside the bank, I know a lot of you are thinking, wow, you look at your money, it's in a savings account, you pay a fee for that savings account, but your money's really not growing. And sometimes that fee is more than what you're making. So let's say the national average right now for banks is less than 1%. But let's say that the banks are being generous and they gave you 1%. So you take the number that you're getting on your money, whatever rate, in this case, let's say 1%, you divide that into 72, and that's going to tell you how many years it's going to take your money to double. So 1 divided into 72 is 72. That means if you're earning 1%, listen carefully, if you're making 1% on your money will double 72 years from now. So if we had a 29-year-old with $10,000, when they're 101 years old, their money would double. I don't know about you guys, but that's way too long for us to wait for our money to double. So the higher rate you're getting on your money, the more your money builds and compounds. You work hard for your money, but is your money working hard for you? At 4%, that same 10,000 becomes 40. At 6%, your money doubles every 12 years, so that same 10,000 becomes 80. But at 12%, your money doubles every 6 years, and that same 10,000 becomes 1.2 million. So if you had an option of where you'd want to place your money, obviously we'd want to get a higher rate of return, right? Well, we go beyond that and we show people something very, very powerful. We show them how to invest their money and put their money where the banks put their money. Because when you take your money and put it inside the bank doesn't keep your money there and keep it safe and just wrap a little bow around it. They take that money and they reinvest it. Would you want to know where the banks put their money? Right? I did. I was like, wait a minute, where do the banks reinvest their money? And when I saw that stuff happening, when I worked at Wells Fargo as a VP, I said, why don't we teach this to the community, right? But I realized it wasn't about education. It was more about sales. It was more about quotas. It was more about satisfying stockholders, right? But it wasn't about people and community and education. The second rule to money is how your money grows. No matter what type of product, there's all types of companies and products, but it's going to fall into one of these three categories. The first is what's called fixed. That's kind of like that 1%, not really growing, not earning. So in fact, if your money's not growing and you're not earning, you're actually losing money, because every single year, inflation gets more, the cost of living goes up, things are more and more expensive. And if your money is not growing and keeping up with inflation, then you lose purchasing power and it becomes worth less and less as time goes on. So what's the second option? The second option is something called variable. And I'm here to tell you that most people have variable accounts. It's what their employers offer. So when you're looking at retirement accounts like 401ks or Roth IRAs or individual retirement accounts, mutual funds, managed portfolios, those go up, right? The market goes up. But what else does the market do? The market comes down. So you'll hear things that people will say in the industry like, oh, don't worry about it. The market goes up, it goes down. But as long as you keep your money there, you didn't really lose any money. It's going to come back up, right? Like, who's ever heard that before? Or you'll hear other things like, in order for you to make money, you have to risk your money. And those things are just not true. See, there are people who are informed and there are people who are uninformed. And the majority of Americans are uninformed. So guess what happens? The risk gets shifted to them. You can earn money without losing money. In fact, you can put your money where the banks, big banks and big corporations place their money, which are index accounts. When the market goes up, your money goes up. When the market goes down, your money is safe. So I want you to think about this. What is variable? It's kind of like unreliable, unpredictable, uncertain. Are those things that you really want to have associated with your hard-earned money? Like, would you want to place your money into something that's variable, kind of like a roller coaster up and down with your money, gambling with your future, right? Index funds allows you to have the best of both worlds. You have the downside protection and you have the upside potential. So think about this. Imagine if your money had all the upside, but none of the downside. Think about that. Imagine if your money had all the upside and none of the downside. That's a powerful position to be in. The third rule to money is how your money grows. Now, I want you to think about taxes, because taxes are going to be one of the biggest expenses throughout your life. For those of you joining us from states where you have high income tax, where you have state and federal, not only are you paying state taxes and federal taxes on your income, but you also have sales taxes. You have property taxes. You have all of these different types of taxes that are eating away at your hard-earned money. And if you don't know the rules to the money game, how are you going to win? So when you place your money that's already been taxed in a tax now type of product, how does it work? It's called capital gains. Anytime your money grows, you're going to pay taxes on the growth of your money. So let's say, for example, you've already paid taxes. You put it into a CD, a savings account, stocks, mutual funds. Your money continues to grow, and the growth of that money continues to be taxed from now until forever. So let me ask you a serious question. Does it make sense for you to pay taxes on the same dollar twice? Does it make taxes for you guys to pay tax on the same dollar twice? What other options do we have? You have something called what? Tax later. So you don't pay taxes now. Let's think about this. You're working hard. You're a farmer. You plant seeds. These seeds are only worth pennies. The government says, don't pay me taxes on these seeds that are only worth pennies. 30, 40, 50 years down the road, as these penny seeds grow to millions of dollars, then the government comes and knocks on your door and says, hey, we want our taxes. But we don't want our taxes on those seeds that were worth pennies. We want our taxes on that $1 million harvest. So it's called a government plan for a reason. They have a plan for your money. And there are people who are informed, and there are people who are what? Uninformed. So you're creating a ticking time bomb of taxes that's going to compound for later, that you end up paying way more in the future. Like, who thinks taxes are going to be less? Who thinks taxes are going to be more? If you're thinking taxes are going to be more, I'm right there with you, because our government's $30 trillion in debt. The money's going to have to come from somewhere. So imagine right now, if you had $1 million for retirement, imagine handing over $300,000-400,000 just to pay your taxes. What if taxes are more in the future? You're going to have to hand over more than that. So that's a big deal where somebody's placing their seeds. Where you plant your seeds and grow your harvest, when it is time for you to reap your harvest, is the difference of having taxes or not having taxes. The third way that money gets taxed is what's called tax advantage. Tax advantage means you have to pay taxes on your income because that's something that we have to do. But imagine not paying taxes on the growth of your money. Those seeds becoming hundreds of thousands of millions, you're not paying taxes on that. And when it's time to harvest, distribute, and take out your hard-earned money during your years of retirement, when you'll need it most, when you don't have any more tax deductions or incomes, imagine now you're able to take that money out completely tax advantaged. So our mission as a company is to help people understand these three rules, because how are people going to win at the money game if they don't know the rules to the game, if they don't even know how to play, and nobody's explained this stuff, and we didn't learn in school and we didn't learn at work? How are we going to win to the money game? And I sit down with so many people that tell me, Josh, I wish I would have known this, in their 60s and 70s, that say, how come nobody taught me or shared this with me 20 or 30 years ago? That's the mission of our company. That's the education. Whether you're in an accumulation phase, a protection phase, the distribution phase, we want to make sure that we can help people and give them options, just an understanding, just know what's available. It's your money in the end. You're going to make your decisions, but know the entire picture, see the vision, and then be able to have the peace of mind knowing that you got all the information, right? So I love that about what we do. How do we make this simple? We put together free financial plans for every single person that we sit down with. Let me explain the value of this a little bit. One of the biggest things that separated family A from family B is family B has a financial professional. People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And it's it's really like when I sit down with nurses and doctors and lawyers or whoever it may be, they're always like, Josh, you know what? I'm an expert in my area, but I'm just so busy and time just starts passing by. I just had no idea what's available or what's out there, right? So we put together free financial plans. The value of this works like this. When I worked at Wells Fargo, for somebody to have a personalized plan, they need to have a certain amount of money. Most of the time in the millions, or nobody sits down and customizes. There's a difference between having a plan by default and a plan by design that's been specifically tailored and customized to you. Everybody out there has a plan by default. This is how to know. If I went to my work and just set up whatever my work has, I have a plan by default. It was not customized and specifically, they didn't go out and look at all the different options in the entire industry and come back and say, hey, we looked at everything. This is the absolute best. No, that's a plan by default. If you walk into a bank, if you walk into any of these advisory firms that are out there, they say, go sit with a personal banker and they'll set you up with whatever it may be, and you get a plan by default. But to have a plan by design means it's specifically tailored to you. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are you trying to accomplish? And it helps in these 6 different areas. So number one, we help people increase their cash flow. On a part-time basis, this mission is a big mission, and we need a lot of people to help with it. We need a lot of good people in the community that want to spread the good news and spread the good word and help their communities and bring financial wealth, abundance, and prosperity. So people that work with us on a part-time basis can make a 6-figure income part-time working remotely while they still work their job or whatever it may be on their own time. And I love that about our option, because if you put money into somebody's household, an extra $3,000 to $5,000 a month for families after all the bills are paid and done, that's a big deal. A 6-figure income on a part-time basis, that changes people's lives. The second thing that we do is generational planning. We show families the things that these wealthy families have been doing that make hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. We show them the same concepts and ideas and products to create generational wealth in their families. So every generation going forward, you can create generational wealth. I look back at my family, never happened. My grandparents, my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my parents, like everyone lived the exact same life, but that stops with our generation, right? The third thing is emergency funds. Most people are paycheck to paycheck. $500 expense that people are not used to spending outside of their normal spending, right? Creates a financial hardship. It's a struggle. People are like, man, what do I do, right? Car broke down, engine. And that's because people are paycheck to paycheck. The fourth thing is proper protection. I want you to think about this. How many times do we see people that pass away in our communities have to do a GoFundMe? When I met my wife here in the company, my wife was a widow. So proper protection is very near and dear to her heart. She used to be an LVN. And she pursued, when her late husband passed away, she was 8 months pregnant at the time and had a 3-year-old. That 3-year-old's now 17, and the baby she was pregnant with is now 13 years old. So they've been a blessing in my life. I've been able to be their father, to raise them, and I love them, right? But I want you to think about this. Their family was not educated at that time. They were hardworking in the medical field, and they just didn't know what their options are. What about people that get sick? How many people do you see that one moment everything's fine, but they didn't plan for this unforeseen circumstance? That car that got into an accident, they're paralyzed. Someone passed away. They had a heart attack, cancer, stroke. What income protection strategy do you have in place right now if you were to get sick or pass away so the money continues to come through and take care of your family? We show people what their options are. The fifth thing we do is we teach people how to build wealth. We compare what they have to everything. If you have the best, great. Continue to do what you're doing. But if not, at least you'll know what your options are. How many of you know what your financial independence number is? If I unmuted this right now and I said, raise your hands if you know exactly what your financial independence number is. That's the exact amount of money that you're going to need to be able to retire. Most people say, I think I need about $1 million. If you're in your 30s, you need close to $4 to $5 million in order for you to retire. What if you find out that number when you're 50 or 55 or 60, and it's only 10 years down the road and you got to save $3 to $5 million? So people don't know what they're planning for. They cross their fingers, they close their eyes, and they just hope the next 30 years is going to be okay. We want to help answer that, put a clear vision and picture as far as what is needed to get you from where you are to where you want to be. It's a roadmap, a financial GPS. If we were going to take a trip anywhere in the United States, we use a cell phone that tells us how to get from point A to point B so we don't take the wrong turns. How important is that for our financial destination? A trip that's 20 or 30 years down the road, and for some of us may only be 3 or 5. And if that's you, we need to maximize what you're doing right now and understand your options so we can help you in those areas. The sixth thing that we do is estate planning, making sure the things that you work hard for throughout your life are passed down to the people that you love and the people that you care about the most. We do all of these things for the community and for people complimentary. We do it for them for free. We don't even charge them. How do we get paid? All those big billion-dollar companies pay us directly. And we said, look, if you're the best company, we'll bring you business. And there's 150 of them that fight to be on our platform. Why do they fight to be on our platform? Because we control distribution in the financial service industry. We are the largest distributor and financial educators across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. And we're doing big things for the community. We're doing big things for families. We're doing great things for them. And we're doing it complimentary. And we're helping people have an understanding of this. So that's the heart. That's the mission. That's the crusade. If you didn't understand anything that I said, that's okay. Sometimes people do the first time or the second time they hear it. But this is what I'll tell you. To sum everything up, we provide financial literacy, and it's needed in our country, and it's needed in our families, and it's needed for our children. I want to shift gears here a little bit because our company is rapidly expanding. We're not growing right now. We're absolutely exploding. And the timing of our industry is absolutely everything right now. We have CEOs of companies that are walking away from their income. They're making $500,000 a year to be a part of this and to join this movement of what's taking place. In our country right now, the largest transfer of wealth in our country's history is taking place right now, and there's 7 more years in which this is going to happen. So from now to 2030, the rest of the $63 trillion is going to move hands. The baby boomer generation is retiring. There's 10,000 of them retiring every single day, and they want to know what their options are. They don't want to run out of money. They don't want to look back and say, man, I'm 70 or 65 or 80, I have to go back to work. They want lifetime income. They want guarantees. They want pensions. They want to understand what their options are. So this is the largest transfer of wealth America has ever seen. What type of opportunity exists for people that are positioning themselves in front of it? We have sports athletes. We have communities that are saying, we need to be a part of this. History is being written. History is being made right now as this wealth transfer is taking place. What would it look like for you and your family if you were a part of this? Our industry is the highest paid industry in the entire world. It only makes sense if you teach people about money, you can make a lot of money, but we never take a penny out of our clients' pockets. We never take a dime out of their pockets. We do everything for them complimentary, and I love that about us. Generation X and the millennials, they're looking at their parents and their grandparents, and they're saying, we got to do something different. The same opportunities don't exist for us anymore. We can't be loyal and have a pension and work for a company for 30 years. We don't even want to do that. We want options. We want time. We want freedom. We want the ability to live our goals and dreams, and we want to do that now. But they're looking for a platform. They're looking for ideas. It's a new era. You don't have to trade 30 or 40 years of your life building somebody else's goals or dreams. You can make money now in different ways by helping people, by contributing, by having a passion to do that, right? Think about all of these generations. They're dissatisfied. They're all in the same boat. People are going online nowadays, playing with toys on YouTube. Think about that. And they're making millions of dollars doing that. We're looking for people with a big heart. We're looking for people with passion to help people. We're looking for leaders in our community that want to make a difference. We have the best business platform that's out there. In fact, if I were to ask you, do you think most people in America become wealthy by having a job or by owning a business? And the majority of people become wealthy by having a business. But most of the time, people say, I don't have the time, money, resources, effort, all of that to start something. I don't know how to do it if I'll fail. Investment costs, all of these different things weigh on people's minds, which prevents them from doing or starting anything. Our company said, look, we're going to take care of all of the hassles in business. We're not going to have employees. We're going to give people ownership. So when we work with people, we work with them and we give them ownership in what they're creating. We're not going to have inventory or payrolls comp or payroll or overhead or bosses or quotas or discrimination. We're going to take care of that. The company's going to take care of all that stuff. And we're just going to serve a mission of helping people. No liabilities, no experience. We can take anybody from any different background, and we have a proven track record and system of how to train people here. These are kind of our statistics. Last year alone, our company created over 30 millionaires within the last year. We created over 500 new people that came aboard our firm that are now making a six-figure and up income with our company. So I don't say this to impress you. I just want you to understand what opportunity is out there, because people are looking for ways. In today's day and age, before mom and dad, dad could go to work, mom could stay home. Then it's like mom and dad are both going to work. Now it's like mom and dad are both going to work. And now mom and dad both have a side hustle. And why isn't it enough, right? It's still not enough. We don't have any of the politics. We get paid here twice a week. We have what's called residual income, trail income, renewal income, 1099 income, passive income, bonus income, unlimited earning potential, and ownership. And that's what we do with people. We help them. We take them, we give them a business platform. People that have started with us that were single moms or widowed moms or whatever it may be, that had goals and dreams, we've been able to help coach them and mentor them and teach them to have just financial independence, to not be dependent upon anybody. How good would it feel to know that you're completely self-reliant? My wife and I have been completely self-reliant over the last 10 years, and we've been able to train many people to do exactly the same. So this is a licensed professional career. This is not one of your network marketing, multi-level marketing, vitamin sales. Not that there's anything wrong with those companies, but we don't operate that way. We operate in a licensed professional career with an agent and agent broker relationship. We operate almost the same as real estate, very similar to real estate, but this is the fastest, biggest, highest growing industry in the entire world. And we're making a biggest difference for the community and people by teaching them about money. So our company is very passionate about trips and competing and doing different things. And I would say some of the best things that we've done here are associations. As we go to this next page here, our associations here with the company have been awesome. Our life has gotten better in every single area. We call it the 5 F's, right? You can go back to the compensation, please. The 5 F's: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. And we believe that if somebody is associated with our firm, their life will get better in all 5 of those areas. This is a quick compensation of someone who works with us on a part-time basis. I want you to think about how long and how hard someone would have to make to work to earn $10,000 a month. Here, you get a license, right? My wife got hers in 4 days. 3 days, I got mine in 4, right? Most people with our firm are licensed within 2 to 4 weeks. Our company standard is 2 weeks. So everyone that keeps to the standards in 2, most people get licensed within 2 to 4 weeks is the average. And now that you're licensed, you pass a state exam through whichever state. We do business in all 50. So no matter where you're at, it doesn't matter, right? And you only need a 60% in some states and a 70% in some states. So it just depends on where you're at. But you study an online test that gives you the ability to learn, and then you take it, and it's not too difficult to do. And now you've put yourself here where you have a professional career. So let's take a little take a look at how this works. We get paid to help people save and protect their money. So if you helped 4 people a month, let's say every Sunday, entry level, you sat down with us and you helped 4 people a month, that would pay you about $10,000 or $129,000 a year. That's about 15 hours of work a month. I know people that trade 40 to 50, 60 hours of their life, and they don't make that on a monthly basis, right? Let's say you have some leadership skills. Let's say that you have some management skills. You can help people. You can train people. We're looking for people like that as well. That'll pay you about $19,000 or $230,000 a year to help the same people, right? Five people a month, 4 or 5 people a month. You're helping them. Boom, you're getting paid. Not out of their pocket, from the big billion-dollar companies that pay us directly. You can lead people, right? These are our scales here. And the more you work, the harder you work. You're in control of your promotions. You're in control of your future, your destiny. There's no limits. It's an even playing field. I remember working at Wells Fargo. No matter how hard I worked, I would never be able to make more than what I was making because I was capped out. My coach and mentor told me this. He said, Josh, you could be the hardest working person, but if you're in the wrong type of industry, no matter how hard you work, you'll only make a certain amount of money. You could be an average person and you're in an industry with trillions of dollars, and by default, you make a few $100,000 or a few million because you're with the right system in the right industry with the right type of timing. So we get paid personal income. That's when we help someone. You can develop an agency of people and train them. You can expand across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. There's no territory restrictions or limitations. We pay monthly and quarterly bonuses. And then we also have what's called reoccurring income. And this is one of the most powerful things that I learned. Reoccurring income pays you whether you work or not. See, the stuff that my wife and I have done 10 years ago, we still get paid on it to this day. The big companies pay us directly. People keep their plans, right? You continue to make money over and over and over and over. The only other industries that offer that is if you're a movie star, a musician, an author, or if you own a bunch of real estate that's paid for, right? That you're renting out brings you passive, reoccurring residual income. So there's people here that are passionate about certain things. What if you had the time in your life to do the things that you love to do? What if you had the time to pursue the things that you were really passionate about, the things that you really dream about? I talk to people and they're like, Josh, I'm just so tired. I'm working paycheck to paycheck. I forgot what it is. Maybe you love to serve in your church and you want to do more. Maybe it's community work. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you love to travel. Maybe you just want to be with your family. Maybe you want to be with your kids. Maybe you want to homeschool your kids. Those are all things that we've wanted to do, right? Those are things that we've been able to accomplish and help other people accomplish. But what would you want to do? What is your dream? Are you still dreaming? Some people have given up. Some people let their dreams die, right? Some people are like, man, I don't even know what it is that I'm passionate about because I'm just so stressed out working and working. And we say that's a life that we can change. That's a life where we can put people in a position. See, this system or platform, maybe this isn't something that you love to do. Maybe you never thought of yourself doing this, but there is something that you want. Allow this to be the vehicle that can be used to help you get there. Now, we're extremely selective of who we work with. This is not for everybody. You don't just get to raise your hand and join. We do an interview process. We hand select people because it's the time and investment on our end into teaching and mentoring people because we have the system, we have the track record, we have all of these things in place. The only variable is the individual that we're working with. So we're very selective. And we like to make sure that we're working with good people. The number one thing we look for, are you a good person? Do you have a good heart? Are you willing to help and put people first? And do you want to make a difference for your family and for the community? And I love that about our mission. Now, for those of you who have played sports on this next page here, we have different types of like Super Bowl rings, and we recognize people for their competitive nature. And maybe some of you played sports or competitive and would love to do that. So as you're hitting different milestones here within the company recognizes you for that. Not only do we do that, but the company does about 6 to 8 trips. And when my wife and I got promoted to the highest division here within our company, which is Pinnacle Elite, I'm telling you, it feels like every month or every other month, we're in a new place. A few weeks ago, we were in Jamaica. Next week, we're in the Virgin Islands. We're going to be in Hawaii. We're going to be in Cabo, and there's all these different things that are happening and taking place. So you help a lot of people. We come together. We have fun. We travel the world. We change people's lives, and we do incredible, incredible things for people. We donate a lot of money to charity. There's awesome things that are happening in our communities, and we're looking for people who understand the vision. We're looking for people who understand this mission. On this next slide here, there's some few individuals that are just exceptional in what they've been doing for the community. If anybody's from Africa, our company's working with about 7,000 people from Africa. They're from Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Ethiopia, Kenya, and they've come together as African communities to say, look, we want to bring wealth and prosperity into our communities. We have dreams and vision for what we want to do back home. We don't want people to have to pay for school. Let's put in free schools back there. Let's put in water. Let's put in facilities. Let's put in medical. Let's put in, doctors and clinics that can help. What is your dream, right? We have people like Levi Mboni. He's from Cameroon. He had the vision to help his people from his country. And he's created so many millionaires within the community. Let me give you an example of this. Every single person here on this call has gifts, talents, and skills. And if we work for a company, it's not bad if we work for a company, but if we work for a company, we use our gifts, talents, and skills to build that company's goals, dreams, and wealth. What if we work together with all of our gifts, talents, and skills as a community, and that abundance flowed into our households and our communities? What would that look like? And that's what all these individuals do. We have pastors here who are making millions of dollars, helping, serving their churches and communities, giving back, furthering their missionary work, whatever it is, right? We have people from sports backgrounds. We have people who are plumbers. Every single person here on this picture makes a 7-figure and up income. And they were PE teachers. They were servers at restaurants. They were nurses. They were doctors. They were military workers. They were CPAs and accountants, right? One person here worked at Walmart and Chipotle. They're teachers. These are average people. Some of them were just in college and decided to come aboard our company, right? We gave them a shot, and now they're doing incredible, incredible things. This company is blessing so many people. This company is making a difference in the lives of so many people, and we're looking for people who understand that mission. As we go to this last page here, one more thing. I have to mention this individual here because he changed our life, which is Eric Olson. We call him the millionaire maker. See, in my family, we don't really have any example of success like that. And they say you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. Eric's mentor is a billionaire. Eric has a net worth of $200 million. Makes over $1 million a month. I don't tell you this to impress you. I say there's a certain level of business knowledge, of leadership, of growth that takes place in individuals that have reached levels of success like this. And because my family has association with them, because of the mentoring, because of the coaching, because of the teaching, us just being in that room has increased our life and our awareness in every area of our life. Our faith, our family, our finance, our fitness, and our fun has all become better. And we believe that every single person that associates with our company, that's what we strive to do. And that's the mission of what we're doing. Can you imagine a force in our country bringing people together, working together as brothers and sisters? We look like the United Nations, all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities coming together as people, as community to make a change. Because if we don't lock arms together and do it, nobody else is going to go out and fight for our families. On this last page here is our options with our company. When somebody invited me to this meeting, I thought I was doing them a favor, and I very quickly realized that they were doing me a huge favor. And I'm so glad that they did, because if I look back on our old life, I would still be at Wells Fargo. My wife might still be a nurse, and we wouldn't have the time and financial freedom and energy and things that we do to be with our family, to homeschool our kids, to be with our son, to raise them, to be in their life, to not just see them and put them to bed at night, and my wife and I passing each other in the night as one of our shifts ends and the next one. Like, we didn't want that type of life, right? We wanted to make a difference, and we wanted to help people in a big way. So these are our 4 options with our company. The first is a complementary strategy. Let me be very direct with you. We are not here to sell you anything. We are not here to convince you. We are here to give you education and make the decisions. We are not salespeople. We are financial educators. But I recommend everybody has a complementary strategy done, because your future is too big of a deal for you to just leave up to chance. Your children's future is too big of a deal for you to just leave up to chance. The second option is a referral option. And this is for people who just refer us business. We do the work while you're working. I work with a lot of nurses while they're at work. Like my wife's cousin, Jane. I was like, hey, Jane, you just made $3,000 last week. She's a single mom raising 2 kids at work, working 12-hour shifts. You know what that extra $3,000 this week does for her? That's a big deal. And she's building a company to where now she can retire from nursing and serve and maybe just work 1 day a week because she loves, or 1 day a month because she loves being a nurse, right? And she can do that. And she just started on a referral option. And now more of her time is freed up, and now she's part-time with us, right? So some people work part-time. They have their full-time job. They work with us part-time, and now you're doubling your income. You have a spare tire to your income. If you get laid off or something happens, you have an alternate means of income that comes to and takes care of you, and you can build your goals and build your dreams and build your business. And then the last one is full-time. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I knew with what I was doing, if I didn't change something, I was going to do the same thing. And I was going to end up in the exact same situation. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, but expecting different results. And I love the fact that our company gives people options. So if one of these options intrigues you, if one or not all or multiple of these, get with the individual that invited you here. I know we have a poll that's coming up. You can complete this poll. Where do you see yourself? Are you interested in a complementary strategy? Are you interested in the referral option, part-time option? This is something where we would still sit down if you're interested in working with us, and we'll see if there's a mutual fit, and we would conduct an interview. If you're interested in what we do for clients, we can help you. We can schedule a one-on-one meeting to meet with you and your family individually and just talk to you about what your options are. Just get to know you. We're meeting with mayors, we're meeting with cities, we're meeting with city leaders and officials, and every single person in the military. We show this program to teachers. Like, we need to teach this in high school. We need to teach this in college. We need to teach this in our churches. We need to teach this at home. Our families need to learn this. Our communities need to learn this. So we're very passionate. We're very excited. We're very grateful. We're very thankful to have all of you here spending your time on a Sunday. It's your most valuable asset. And thank you for being here with us. God bless you. God bless your family. America is the land of the free. It's the home of the brave, but we need more free people and we need more brave people to step up and to fight for our country and to come together as community and make a difference. God bless you all. Have an incredible evening. Thank you so much.